We refer to a common saying that what we know about much of the world's bodies of water is still very much a mystery. This is no less true about the Gulf of Mexico. But before we discuss that, I want to bring your attention to what happened over the last year that brought us to the brink we are at right now. Around December 26, 2016, shortly after Obama declined to use his veto power for a proposed UN bill, a solar wind began penetrating our atmosphere at a rate that produced faded signs, melted garbage bins, and strangely burned plants. Oh, but it didn't stop there. No. It penetrated through Earth itself, straight to the core, causing it to expand. When extra pressure from the core was applied to the mantle, something incredible happened. Pressure from the core and space is usually at an equilibrium with the mantle. But now that the core was adding more pressure to the mantle, a harmonic tone was released. This tone traveled to the atmosphere where it promptly bounced back at us as a trumpet or grinding metal sound. But putting pressure on the mantle also meant putting pressure on the tectonic plates and the volcanoes worldwide, both above and below sea level. Evidence of activity below what eyes can see became painfully obvious when Antarctica began to break up in large sections due to a jaw-dropping 91 volcanoes under the ice. As the ice in the North and South poles began to melt, it presented very unique problems for the world's coastlines for the imminent future. Immediately in the spring of 2017, storms were already being reported as never seen before. By summer, high water temperatures in the Gulf of Mexico beckoned hurricanes like sirens. Hurricanes like Harvey that marked not only a unique hurricane season, but the beginning of global coastal water retreats. The ice that melted will cause more intense storms, more and more often. Use extreme caution on coastlines from now on globally. It is something like out of the movie The Seventh Sign. Everything the preachers used to teach us it would look like in the last days is on the news daily, exactly as we were told it would look. Now, there are some that might say that this is impossible for temps to get that high in the Gulf. I assure you that is incorrect. Getting back to the Gulf, you will find it almost impossible to find a map of undersea volcanoes in the Gulf of Mexico. But then you find articles like the one about the asphalt volcanoes. And then there the issue of the lack of subsea volcano information. There's this one map that has this one teeny little corner, the Gulf of Mexico. It is clear that subsea volcanoes have been located in that area. It is like they're trying to hide it, though. You also find articles about volcanoes that they thought were dormant or didn't exist anymore. What? Don't exist anymore? But you know that they did in that area? Where'd they go? Furthermore, I found a documented 4.9 quake in 2013 not far from the alleged heat anomaly. Looks like an active area to me. So what are you going to believe? That everything is just fine down there? We have volcanoes going off almost every day, it seems right now, that we can see. What evidence would you expect to see if an underwater volcano erupted? Not necessarily a tsunami, but most likely fish deaths. We know the condition of the water in the Gulf. All natives of the coast know, but even then, fish deaths don't happen every day. They don't. And now it is being reported on Social Underground that methane bubbles have been seen in the Caribbean within the last few days. It isn't boiling water because water boils at 212 degrees Fahrenheit, okay? So now we know that high solar winds combined with low magnetic shields equals heightened volcanic activity. And guess what? NASA just released an article saying that the solar winds are going to go from bad to worse. So what else do you think is going to go from bad to worse? The global coastal phenomena, all right? But there's more. Solar winds also affect fault lines. There is one fault line in America that most people are completely unaware that it exists. The ones who do don't recall the name. It's hard to find, but occasionally I come across something.
This is what will happen to the best friend that will betray Israel and divide Jerusalem. When he spoke those words, I saw this map of US, and he took the sword and pierced right into the heart of US and cut into two.
In my vision about a coming Texas Gulf of Mexico disaster, I was shown a point that no one else was talking about: Houston. I even went on to document a pattern of earthquakes going north into Oklahoma that seemed to lead me to the Great Lakes. Recently, I found this old video that had just that fault line drawn in exactly the places I was looking for. There's also a plate under Texas shores, so you think volcanoes, then plate, then fault line. You want to talk about dividing America in half? There's the fault line that David Wilkerson was talking about, the one that wasn't well known but would trigger the other fault lines. Look it up, alamogordo.com. In the meantime, I encourage you to keep your eyes and ears open. Give me a holler if you notice something, because mainstream ain't on the team. God bless you all, and I'll talk to you soon.